Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And once again, this is the 1-day chart. We're sitting here at $2.93. Today was a green day for XRP. We touched $2.99 before the pullback happened. Now, from here, I'm always optimistic. I think we are going to see an even bigger breakout from where we are right now. Maybe it's some sort of catalyst that gets XRP going. Or maybe we go into full-blown alt season, because alt season's going to happen when we all least expect it. Everybody's waiting on some catalyst to get alt season going. But we didn't have a catalyst back in 2017, 2018. We didn't have a catalyst in 2021. Those breakouts just happened. Same thing can happen here. Everybody is like, I'm going to get into XRP right before the ETFs go live. And again, those ETFs are most likely going to get approved when everybody least expects it. So I think we're going to start to move back up from where we are right now. But a lot of these chart guys think we're going to go even lower before we head to an all-time high. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And look at Bitcoin back above 113K. You know, I just want what all of you want. I want to see us finally go into the euphoric times where all of crypto just starts to really break out. Because I get it. It's frustrating. How many times during this cycle already it looked like the breakout was finally starting to happen? Then some real world event played out, pushing the market back down. It has happened time and time again during this run. I just want the real breakout to begin already. And look at the altcoin season index, the altcoin chart. So at 75, it will officially be alt season. Right now, we are still at 72. And that's what I was telling you. This can happen anytime. It could happen right now. The beginning of alt season can happen at any moment. And it's not going to be timed out. You're not going to get advanced warning that we are now entering alt season. It's just going to start to happen. That's why you always hold XRP. You don't wait until the green candles show up and then start to FOMO in, because you're going to end up paying a lot more for XRP. It's dirt cheap right now. But when the XRP breaks out, it happens so fast. We will go above $5 so quick. People are going to be shocked when it happens. And this comes from Dark Defender. Like I said, some chart guys think we go lower before new all-time high. So according to his chart, we're going to come down to around $2.62. And then we're going to break into a new all-time high. Now, could that happen? Absolutely. Will it happen? Nobody really knows. This whole cycle has been unpredictable up to this point. I'm going to continue to stay optimistic. I think the price is going to hold up where we are right now. And hopefully the breakout begins sooner than later. Remember Robbie Mitchnick? He used to work at Ripple. Now he's over there at BlackRock. Well, he was the head of digital assets, and he did an XRP valuation framework in 2018. And he arrived at $1.59 to $8.23 at that time as the value. However, the valuation was based on the total supply. It did not factor in locked up supply. Here comes yield and all sorts of financial products to lock up even more of the XRP supply. Lock in. Even when he did that valuation where XRP goes above $4,000, that was even based on the entire circulating supply. What are we witnessing right now? We have companies creating XRP treasuries, and they plan to hold that XRP for at least 3 years. And we're going to see more and more companies doing that. Plus, we have the ETFs locking away XRP. And where the hell is all the XRP going when it's leaving Coinbase? People still think BlackRock and JP Morgan, they're buying their XRP through Coinbase. What I'm telling you is this: we are going to see scarcity sooner than people think. Like you see here, Onyx, XRP yield is now on Onyx Ledger with 10% passive Onyx point allocation and more DeFi opportunities soon. Bridger Coinbase wrapped XRP from Base to Onyx today. Everybody wants to capitalize on this XRP yield, but getting yield comes with risk. You can lose all your XRP. Flare put this out today. For over a decade, XRP has powered fast and efficient settlement at scale. FXRP on Flare extends that strength with compositability, opening new growth opportunities. XRP is collateral, liquidity, and yield in DeFi. And look at how fast that FXRP was minted. 5 million cap for XRP has been reached in 4 hours. Massive credits to every builder and supporter on Flare Networks. This one's yours. Cap raise in 1 week. So a week from now, they're going to raise the cap. But 5 million FXRP minted in 4 hours. And that's retail. That's not institutional demand. Institutional demand is going to be so much higher. It's not hard to figure out where the XRP price is headed. It was always about derivatives, strategic supply, and the burn mechanism. I'll be getting more XRP while I still can. Here's a good one to really point out. Axelar's goal is to lock up 5% of the XRP circulating supply, and Flare Network's goal is to lock up 5 billion XRP. That's just 2 companies. Can you say supply shock? Supply shock for XRP is going to happen so quick. I'm telling you, the demand for this cryptocurrency is so much higher than what people think. Nobody creates an XRP treasury for no reason. We're watching companies doing that right now. Plus, everybody wants to capitalize on that yield. Everybody wants to make money. But Brad Garlinghouse told us years ago this was always the end goal. Take a listen.
There is relatively speaking, leaving forks aside, there's relatively speaking fixed supply, and you have increasing demand. And when endowments and institutions, Joey and I sat in a meeting not that long ago with, some of the largest institutional money in the world trying to get smart about crypto. They owned zero on that day. I don't know if they do today. But as they enter the market, you have fixed supply, increasing demand. You don't have to go to MIT to know what's going to happen.
We all know what's going to happen. Everybody always said for XRP to reach $100 plus, Ripple needs to capture 10% of Swift's business. What's going to get us to $100 plus first is supply and demand. The supply is already shrinking, and the demand is continuing to rise. Paul Brody from EY confirms we are at the beginning. Banks are getting into crypto. So we already see the supply drying up, and the banks haven't even gotten here yet. Take a listen.
Where are we and what are you seeing?
So we're at the beginning of what I expect to be a long game of regulatory and operational and business convergence. We are relatively few years away from a point where it's not really going to be possible to tell the difference between an on-chain financial service and an off-chain financial service. The differentiation between TradFi and DeFi is basically going to disappear. And there's there's an old saying, and I don't know where it came from, but organizations that oppose each other tend to eventually come to resemble each other. And that's exactly what's happening. So the banks are busy getting into crypto, and the crypto companies are busy getting banking licenses, and everyone's getting ready to launch a stable coin. So eventually these things are going to converge to the point where it's not going to be really visible who's doing what.
We're not even going to know that it's happening. It's all going to be happening behind the scenes. And as that's happening, we're going to see the price of XRP continuing to rise, because the demand for this cryptocurrency is not going to ever stop. Think about what XRP is built to do. So a company that buys some XRP, they could use it to make their own transactions. They could use it to move their tokenized assets. XRP can move anything of value. That's why the institutional demand for XRP is going to be astronomical. It is going to be so big that everybody out there that was trying to stay conservative and say there's no demand for an XRP ETF, I think they're all going to be shocked. XRP could soar to $9.60 or $33, depending on how this pattern plays out. Nobody knows where XRP is going. You know, there's such a big gap between $9.60 and $33. But the reason why we're seeing all of these predictions is because it's so hard to see where XRP is going right now. We don't know how much money is going to flow into those ETFs. We don't know how much XRP is going to be circulating over the coming months either. So a lot of things can happen that get XRP to $100 so quick that people wouldn't even be expecting that to happen. All of a sudden, you wake up one day and XRP is just ripping, and it's already above $100. That can very well happen, because as time goes on, you're going to have people buying more and more XRP. I'm talking about institutional investors. The ETFs are going to swallow up some of that supply. Where the hell is all that Coinbase XRP going? Is BlackRock buying it? Is some of it ending up at JP Morgan? We really don't know. So it's hard to make a prediction on what's going to happen with the price of XRP. What XRP needs to see is value really move is to reveal the more than 1,500 NDAs that have yet to be revealed. Once that happens, it will explode, and we will see the real value with the launch of utility. Now, we know about those NDAs, but here's the thing. Everybody thought those NDAs were going to drop one after another once the Ripple versus SEC case ended. But we don't know the expiration date on those NDAs. It could be 2 or 3 years from now. Meanwhile, these companies are still working with Ripple without us even knowing it's happening. So there could be a lot of bigger things happening in the background that we don't even know about yet. And again, that could push the price of XRP even higher. It's so hard to predict what's going to happen next in this market. One thing I do know is that eventually we are going to get to the euphoric times. They're loading right now. Everybody's saying October's the month, but we heard that all the way back in February. Remember, February's going to be massive for crypto. Then it was March. Then it was April. Then it was going to be the summer of crypto. Remember that? And here we are, still waiting for a new all-time high in price discovery for XRP. All I could tell you is this. It is coming. When is it going to happen? When we all least expect it. And until it does happen, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.